super interesting week. We have a infamous person that died this week in jail. We have gold acting really interesting. We have cryptos moving higher. We have Europe moving higher. We have China trying to find itself. So let's dig into the weekly charts and let's see what's going on and what you can take away from it. And I'm even going to include an investment that looks like it's about to break out and I think will be 100% gain this year. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, so I think it might be fun if I start bringing in maybe a stock pick that I see and talk about what's going on with it. So I'm gonna finish the conversation, the video, with talking about that stock and why I think it might be a double in this year. And I know this year only has 3 quarters left, so it's gonna be moving pretty fast. Now, before we get into that, let's jump over to. Oh, we're already there. I usually start with talking head, but we're right in. To this format. So let's just do a quick jot around the world. Let's think of the world as just 2 things, the US and everything else. So here's a price chart of the US. I'm just using SPY as that. And then we could just do VEU for the rest of the world minus the US. And so VEU breaking out to new highs. It's not the lifetime high. If I were to just show you the world X US, this is the index of it, MS World. You can see it is broken above the trade war highs, which was the significant price point to really break above. And once it did that, more buyers came in. So you want to own things where as the price goes higher, people want more of it, which is what I'll talk about with the ticker symbol that I think is also going to double this year. So international going up. It's of course not international if you are international, but it is going higher. If we quickly just look at the different countries around the world, here's the 3rd largest economy on the planet, Japan, just consolidating, going sideways, not breaking down. Its lifetime high is 39,000. It's about 30,000 now. Very likely we could get that next 30% this year. In fact, once it breaks above, and I do believe it's going to break above that resistance right there, we're going to see a quick 30%. And that's just to get back to its old lifetime highs. It's 1989 highs from 3 decades ago. That's a long time ago. Okay, that's the 3rd largest economy. The 4th largest economy is the German economy, Germany, also known as Germany. And what you see there are also new lifetime highs. So 4th largest new lifetime highs, 3rd largest new lifetime highs, 1st biggest new lifetime highs. China is not at new lifetime highs. It's really working itself higher, and I'll show that in a second. But before I do, let's go to, if you guys, do you know what the 5th largest economy is? It's India. And to me, India looks very similar to Japan. This is India's lifetime highs. It is digesting. Let's just see what this move is from the COVID bottom to the peak there. Yeah, 100%. So it's just digesting that move. So we have what, 5 of the 5 largest economies, 4 are breaking out to new lifetime highs. Let's just throw in for fun the French stock market, the CAC 40. And though that's not at new lifetime highs, it is at multi-year highs. I think, let me just quickly zoom back. If we go back, let's go back 20 years. Yeah, it is now broken above its '08 high. This is what the financial sector did too. It broke above its '08 high. So now we have France breaking above its '08 high. And the only thing above that is the 2000 high. So even the 6th largest economy is breaking up. So things are breaking out and up, or up and out. There's a couple things that caught my eye this week that I want to talk about. Now, I talked about the Bernie Madoff thing, or I alluded to a guy dying in jail. He died at 82. He died in jail. I think the sadder thing was how he destroyed his family. He had 2 sons. One committed suicide at the 1-year anniversary, either of the exposure of the fraud or of his dad going to jail. I just remember 1 year. And his other son died of cancer, both in their 40s. So as a parent, it's probably the worst thing that could ever happen is that you outlive your kids. Super sad story with Madoff and himself and his family and what he did to his family. 2 interesting things that I want to point out. One, when anyone ever asked Madoff to be part of his fund, he actually said no. He's like, no, it's full. And that just made people want to be in his fund more. And then later he'd say it's open just for a short period, and he'd get like 2 to 3 times the subscribers that he could even take in. So, I mean, this guy was a master at deception. People did not check. People stopped thinking around him. And what's interesting is just that polarity of, I can't get in. I want the thing that I can't get in. The other thing that I find really interesting is Stephen Greenspan, who is a psychiatrist, author multiple times. He wrote a book on gullibility and being fooled, and he lost a third of his retirement in Madoff's fund. And the point of that is it doesn't even matter if you've written the book on being gullied, is that word, gullied? Or being fooled into something. It actually doesn't matter what you know. It only matters how you behave. And that's why I just pound the table on understanding how to read price charts. So it was Bernie Madoff this week, kind of an end. I don't want to say an end to an era, but maybe an end to a chapter. Supposedly the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history. Okay, a couple things that are interesting going on. I just want to bring up interest rates. They're just right back to, at least in the U.S., the 10-year, the yield on the 10-year is just right back to where it was pre-COVID. It's almost like nothing to see here. It went from 1.5% down to 0.5%, and now it's right back up to 1.5%. So now it's going to be interesting to see what happens if it breaks above, if you look at the screen here, if it breaks above kind of that 1.9, then it's going to really want to get up to 3%. And like you've heard me say in many other videos, we will not have inflation in interest rates until really that gets and stays, the yield on the 10-year gets and stays above 3%. Though I will tell you, when we look at TIPS are inflation-protected treasuries. They are one of the best-looking bonds out there, along with munis. So at least the people buying TIPS are saying we are getting some sort of inflation. Though the biggest way, I think, to really tell if we're going to get inflation is looking at the commodity market. And the commodity market has some work still to do, but from the bottom to the peak, it's up about 66%. If I were to show you the actual CRB, let's just show you the actual index of it. It's about halfway through kind of its messiness of breaking out. The CRB index is about 192. We really want to see it above 206. And man, I think it's when, not if, it breaks above 206, it's going to really move higher. A lot more buyers are going to come in, and that's going to be really inflationary. Okay, the one thing that caught my attention this week was gold. And specifically precious metal mining shares. Now, before we get to that, I just want to point out something. Silver hasn't actually done anything, and I'm saying that as a good thing. Like, it's gone sideways. It hasn't really fallen. It broke out from the COVID bottom up until about August 1st. Silver itself was up about 140%. And since then, it's just been in a sideways channel, churning, just not really doing anything. It's basically moving, let's say, between $21 and $27. This is SLV itself. So let me just bring up the actual futures and say silver at the low end, 22, at the high end, 29. It's hard to get really excited about silver until it closes and stays above $29. But I'll have to say, it's held its own during this 7 or 8 month period. Now, the symbol that really caught my attention was GDX. And it caught my attention because there's this really important support resistance on GDX, kind of between $30 and $32. And this price could not get above $30. Every time it got above $30, sellers would come in, sell their shares, it would come down below. And finally, it broke that $30 to $32 range. And buyers kept coming in and are continuing to come in at the $32 range. And you can see that if you look on the right part of the screen. Since May of last year, we're getting close to a year. Every time GDX came down to $32, once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, buyers came in and bought more. And that's what's happened recently. Again, buyers came in, and now it's also broken out of its downtrend. So this will be interesting to watch. But it's just not precious metals. This is precious metal mining shares. This is materials, which materials has a lot of things in it, but some of it is companies that produce metals. A lot of material companies. XLB is doing well. Let's just see what it's doing. Up about 15% for the year. So there are a lot of things moving higher, but just noticing GDX continuing to bounce off that 32 where buyers come in, that is significant. As far as gold, the price to really watch, I'm rounding here, is about $1,800, somewhere between $1,788 to $1,800. So for easy math, just say $1,800. It's darn close to getting above $1,800. It's closed. The market's closed today as I record this. It's $1,780. So it is doing its best. Now this is gold priced in US dollars. If you take a gold priced in the euro, it's actually a very different story. Let's see. Can I remember XEU? So here's gold priced in euro. And if you are a European, like how I did that, then gold has a very different story too, because it is above its 2011 highs in a very noticeable and significant way. So here, gold when priced in euros is clearly, now don't worry about this over here, this is a ratio. Just know that gold priced in euros, old highs, gold priced in euros, it is above its old high. And in fact, when it came back down in the COVID crash, new buyers came in. So gold is much stronger in the euro. And when you compare the price of the dollar against a basket of other currencies, the euro represents about 55% of that basket. So gold actually, though there's still clearly volatility with gold, in the euro, it is still way above and noticeably above and at new lifetime highs, though that is also very messy. I'm just curious now. I just want to quickly check what silver is doing when priced in the euro. Yep, just a big old messiness with silver going sideways. Okay, so just some interesting things going on this week. I want to end the video with a company, a symbol that tried to break out to new lifetime highs and then kind of got pulled back a little bit. But it is very likely this is going to be 100% gain this year. And you probably know the company. It's called Twitter. And it attempted to break out to new lifetime highs, failed it, came back down, but not that badly. So let's just zoom back. Let's see how long this has been around. Let's not be so zoomed out here. So look at Twitter here. This is kind of an interesting stock. It IPO'd in 2013, went straight up. Let's just see what it went up. It went up 180%. And we basically haven't seen that high of $73 until recently. So this has been just a lost cause since 2013. And you can see that when this thing in the past, let's just go right here at $65. In the past, it couldn't stay above $65. When it did, it came back down. But so far, it's staying above $65. The longer it stays above, the stronger this move. It's a super liquid company. It's 56 share stock, 56 billion in size. So this could easily double, not just this year, but where it is now. So its old lifetime high is 73. It's very likely, I know earnings are coming out. It's very likely if this thing breaks higher, it's gonna want to double. This has been one social platform symbol that really hasn't done that much this year. I'm going to throw one more bonus in here. I think GM's going to be a double this year. I think the story at the end of the year is going to be GM doubled, Tesla did nothing. So GM as it is right now, let's just quickly look at this. 2021. I got to look around my mic here. So GM right now is up about 43% as we talk. Only 3 months into the year. I think it's going to be a double this year. It started at 41. We're going to see it at 82. And then the flip side of that is Tesla. Tesla this year. Let's just see what Tesla's done this year. Tesla's about flat this year. Would not surprise me if Tesla stays flat for the year. As you know, Tesla's gone up a gazillion% coming into this year. But it's really hit some headwind. And, it's interesting, if a GM, another car company, a legitimate car company, meaning, I shouldn't say legitimate, Tesla's a legitimate car company, an old school Rust Belt car company doubles, it's going to bring in a lot of attention to cars. So I see GM as a double this year. I also see Twitter as a double this year. Guys, if you like this video, you will absolutely love my Clarity and Control course. It is completely free. It's 4 videos, very meaty, jumps right into it. 2 things I've noticed over the last 2 decades of working and training with people want complete clarity. They want clarity over their money. They want to know what's working, what's not working. They want to eliminate what's not working, and they want to do more of what is working. And I'm going to show you, and I do show you in that little training course, how to get that clarity back. The other is control. Having control back over your money is something that almost everyone wants. And what I hear from people, whether they have a big box advisor or a pick of the month newsletter, people want control back over their money. Go ahead, it's down in the description. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye.